I notice two large crows near the apple trees. I notice a huge black dog walking on a leash. I notice a bird on a branch at the top of a very tall tree. I notice the entrance to Wildcare has a bridge with water underneath. I notice Alpine sitting in his sit spot. I notice Mount Tamalpais behind the apartments. I notice deer walking in the road. I notice a large oak tree with acorns underneath.
Good morning, my environmental detective friends. Looking forward to doing some new investigations and detective work with you. Let's go find clues right here in our own neighborhood environment.
Thanks, Duke. It's good to hear from you again. Welcome, environmental detectives. Here we are again, but today we're outside, beautiful outside. I can feel the sun, I can feel the wind. But let's think about, where are we as we're exploring our outdoors? And let's begin. Get your finger out. You're going to make the outline of California. So you're going to start up here at the top, and you're going to make your way down the coastline, which has the ocean, and down here at the bottom, which borders Mexico. And we're going to take our way up the state, and that's our big state of California. Remembering that we're here in Marin County, and that you probably all have family and friends who live in some of our big cities like San Diego. Do you have family in San Diego? Or maybe you go north a little bit to Los Angeles. I have an uncle that lives in Los Angeles. And if I go up a little bit more, here's a place called Fresno. Raise your hand if you got family in Fresno. I see you. And then our beautiful city here of San Francisco, which is just south of us. Over here in Sacramento, that's our capital. And then don't forget, we go way up here to the north, and it's a smaller town, but we can see it on the map, Crescent City. So let's take us back. Where are we in Marin County? I can feel the wind blowing here, so I'm going to flip this over so we can now get our pointer finger out, and we're going to do the shape of our county, Marin County. So we're going to start, and our state is divided up into counties, and Marin is where we are. And you're going to notice in Marin, we have the ocean over here, and we have the bay on this side, which is where we are in San Rafael right now, in a really special park called Pickleweed. As you can see here at Pickleweed, we have this great playground where you can play. And this is one of our beautiful city parks. Just like Walker Creek is a big park, Pickleweed is one of our city parks. So as I'm here in Pickleweed, I'm thinking of our squirrels that we've been watching. The ones where our friends at Wildcare, which is also here in San Rafael, I'll put a WC for Wildcare. We were watching those squirrels, and as I'm out here, I keep wondering, what do the caretakers at Wildcare need to know about the squirrels to know how to take care of them? What do they observe? Do they go outside and watch squirrels to see what squirrels on the inside need? I'm looking for squirrels out here right now, wondering, are the squirrels we saw in our video going to be out here? Let's go see what Duke and Alpine at the ranch have to say about squirrels.
Alpine, how did the baby squirrel get hurt?
Thanks for asking that question, Duke. I would imagine that some of our environmental detective friends might have the same question. So, Wildcare let us know that what happened to that squirrel was that it was attacked by a dog. And when that happened, the squirrel broke its tibia. The tibia is the bone in the leg of humans, and oftentimes is called the shin bone. Say that with me, tibia, shin bone. And try to stand on one foot like me, it's kind of fun. Tibia, shin bone. If you play soccer, you might wear a shin guard, or another thing you could call it would be a tibia guard. The other squirrel found in the video was actually dropped by a crow. And WildCare has let us know that it's good for those two squirrels to be together to learn how to be around other squirrels. One thing that's really neat to know too is WildCare does everything that it can to return wild animals to their natural environment, like Walker Creek Ranch. Finally, it's my understanding that the staff at WildCare put a cast on the squirrel and put him in a small cage. And then when they were able to take the cast off the squirrel, they put that squirrel with another squirrel in a larger cage until that squirrel's leg was completely healed. Now, Duke, you and Rufus know a lot about squirrels. What do you predict that they put in that cage with those squirrels?
You know, Alpine and my environmental detective friends, we have a lot of squirrels out here on the ranch, and I consider myself quite knowledgeable about their natural habits. I can tell you, they like to scurry up trees and along the branches all day long, and they chatter like crazy, especially when Rufus and I are trying to nap. They're noisy little creatures, but full of fun. Now, if you want me to predict what to put in a cage, that's tricky. How are you going to fit a great big oak tree in a cage? Well, I suggest you get a huge cage. That's all I have to say about that.
I'm thinking about what I heard from the ranch. So as we're thinking about these squirrels, I want to watch them again. And I want to think about, well, as I use my senses, I'm going to use my sense of sight, and I'm going to use my sense of hearing to really be thinking more about what do I need to observe to be able to explain and describe what I'm seeing. Because these squirrels are moving, but I need to make sure what's the squirrel in, what's around him. Is this similar to what he needs outside? I need to see the video again. So I'm gonna get my notebook and I'm gonna take my notes. Let's watch the video. Oh, my body needs to move just like those squirrels. I want to move my arms across. I feel the sunshine. That's my outdoor name. I love sunshine. So let's practice using our body counting by fours, the multiples of fours, starting with your right knee and your left arm. Here we go. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40. Let's take that backwards. Right hand, left knee. 40, 36, 32, 28, 24, 20, 16, 12, 8, 4, and 0. Now let's try with fives. Starting with your left hand and your right knee. I'm gonna add a bounce to this one. Here we go. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Stop. Take it backwards. 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, 0. Oh, I feel better. So now with my brain all warmed up and I've been thinking about these squirrels, you know, we now know that our first little squirrel, he was harmed by a dog that bit him and originally put in with his cast into a small cage. And we've learned that he's going to be put into another cage with another little squirrel. And this little squirrel was dropped by a crow. So our friends at WildCare, they get these little animals that are hurt and they learn about how to best take care of them so that these little animals can heal and be released to their natural environment. It makes me think about, how big is this cage going to be? That first squirrel moves a lot. Now let's put two squirrels together. How big will this cage be? Look around where you live. How big would the cage need to be for 2 squirrels who scurry and jump and run? Will it be the size of a table? Show me with your hands. How big do you think this cage will be? Will it be like a refrigerator? Could it be the size of a closet? I wonder what the size of the cage will be for these 2 squirrels. So we're gonna watch a video that shows these 2 squirrels, and I want you to think about what is the size? How would you describe that to another person? How would you show someone the size of that cage? And I want you to look for what's in the cage, what's natural, what's not natural for these squirrels. Oh my gosh, did you see all that we saw in that cage? Wow, that was one large cage. I'm drawing that in my notebook so that I can remember the size of the cage. I'm comparing it to a table that's over here because I think they were about the same size. I'm also still writing down all the things that I saw that were natural and not natural so that I remember, but it really made me have a lot of questions. Let's talk together about what we saw using your ideas. So some of you have already shared with me things that you saw that were natural. Many of you saw the branch. You saw a branch that was going inside the cage. It wasn't an oak tree, but it was definitely a branch, a large branch. Many of you mentioned you saw the leaves, different colored leaves. Makes me wonder, are they leaves from the same tree? Why are they different colors? And are those the kinds of leaves that squirrels like to be with? All of you saw the nuts. I think some of you were nibbling on the nuts. And it makes me wonder, are those the kinds of nuts that squirrels really eat on the outside? Or is those the kinds of nuts that the wild care people give them? And is it okay to have both kinds of nuts? Makes me want to learn more about nuts for squirrels. We saw the water, and they drink water. So where do they find water when they're outside? I wonder, how do you find that out? What does one do to know where they get water? I also noticed, I had one person tell me they noticed the wood, which is natural, that's part of the cage. So the cage wasn't all natural, but the wood in the cage was, which takes me to not natural. You saw the bowl that held the water. That was human-made for sure. But then you saw the metal from the cage. So the cage had the wood on the outside, but then they had this metal part, which was human-made. And some of us put cage under human-made since we know the squirrels didn't make this cage, Wildcare made this cage, which makes me think more about where do the squirrels like to live. So the uncertain area that some of you pointed out, you said, where does the cage fit? Take a moment yourself to see what on your list is natural not natural, or uncertain. So now I just start to think, what do scientists need to do to answer those questions? How often do they go to their sit spot? How often do you think a scientist has to observe the squirrel to know what the squirrel needs? I wonder what that is. We got to find that out. So now that we have all these lists that we have come up with, and we have all of these observations that we've made in our science notebooks, I really want to know how to write in a way that's really descriptive and in a way that other people can understand what I'm saying. So let's spend some time practicing that.
Hi friends, I'm Miss French. I hope you enjoyed that video with the squirrels in the big cage as much as I did. Today, we're going to revisit some language that we used to describe the squirrel that we saw in the cage last week and the squirrels today as well. Remember that our sentence has 4 parts of speech in it. We're going to sing and gesture the parts of speech that make a complete sentence. Sing it and do it with me. Adjective, adjective, noun, adjective, adjective, noun, adjective, adjective, noun, verb, prepositional phrase. Well, what does that mean? Describing word, person, place, or thing. Describing word, person, place, or thing. Describing word, person, place, or thing. Action word, tells you where and when. Now we're going to choose our parts of speech and sing our sentence. We always start with our topic, our subject, which is our noun. Our noun is the same as last time, squirrels. Say it and do it, squirrels. We're going to choose 2 adjectives that describe squirrels. Today we're going to sing curious and injured. Say it and do it with me, curious, injured. What could these curious, injured squirrels be doing? They can, I saw them. They were taking little tiny bites. They nibbled. Squirrels can nibble. That's our verb. And we'll go like this for nibble. Say it and do it, nibble. And where were they? I saw they were near some leaves. Say it and do it, near some leaves. Now we're going to sing our song using our new parts of speech and do the gestures. Don't forget to gesture. Here we go. Curious, injured squirrels. Curious, injured squirrels. Curious, injured squirrels. Nibble near some leaves. That song that we just sang, that sentence, it's a statement. It tells you a fact, what you saw. It's a telling sentence, a statement. We can turn a statement into a question by adding a question word. I brought a question word today. This question word is where. Say it and do it, where. And our prepositional phrases, those tell us the locations or where the squirrels were at. So we can make a question that will be asking where the squirrels were at, and we can answer it using our phrases like this. Where do furry squirrels climb? We can answer it now. Furry squirrels climb in a cage. Try it with me again. We'll ask a question with a new adjective. Where do gray squirrels explore? That's the question. Now we'll answer it with the statement. Gray squirrels explore under a branch. That's the question word where. Now, if we want to know an action, what they're doing, we can use the word what, like this. What do curious squirrels do? And we can answer it. Curious squirrels nibble. What do injured squirrels do? We'll answer it. Injured squirrels dart. Thanks, friends. That's how we can use a question and a statement.
Hi, my environmental detective friends. It's Alpine. Down here by Walker Creek in my sit spot. Just kind of finishing up. You know, I was listening and I heard some birds. I heard some birds that were right above me. I heard some birds that were pretty far away in that direction. I heard the creek behind me today as well. I was thinking we could play a quick game on listening before we finish for the day. So I'm going to stand up and teach it to you. So the game we're going to play is similar to Simon Says. Maybe you've played that game before, but we're going to call it Duke Says in honor of our friend Duke. So the way that it works is I'm going to ask you to do something, and you're only going to do it if I say Duke says before I tell you what to do. For example, Duke says put your hand on your head, so you put your hand on your head. Duke says put your finger on your nose, you would put your finger on your nose. But if I said grab your right earlobe, and I didn't say Duke says before that, you wouldn't move to your earlobe. So we're going to say Duke says put both hands down, and we're going to start playing. Duke says stand on your left foot. Duke says jump up and down on your left foot. Duke says stop jumping. Put your right foot back down. Did I get you? I didn't say Duke says there. So we're going to get back on our left foot. And now Duke says put your right foot down. Duke says clap your hands. Snap your fingers. Did I get you? I didn't say Duke says. Duke says snap your fingers. Duke says stop snapping your fingers. Duke says put your hand on your head. Put your finger on your nose. Did I catch you? We're going to put our hand back where Duke said. Duke says put your hand on your head. Duke says put your finger on your nose. Put your hand back on your head. Did I get you? Remember, I didn't say Duke says there. We're going to bring our finger back to our nose. I'm going to start moving a little bit faster to make it harder. Duke says clap your hands. Duke says snap your fingers. Duke says stand on your left foot. Jump up and down. Did I get you? Duke didn't say that. Duke says jump up and down. Duke says change feet and jump up and down. Duke says stop snapping your fingers. Duke says put your hand on your head. Put your finger on your nose. Oh, did I get you? Duke says put your finger on your nose. Duke says clap your hands. Duke says you can stop all of that. And Duke says give me a double snap thumbs up. I hope that you had fun. We'll see you soon. Bye.
All right, my environmental detective friends, we are in our sit spot here at Pickleweed Park. And when we're here, remember to put in check your feelings, figure out where you are using the feeling tree, and take those deep breaths to calm yourself. When I'm out here today, my mind is really thinking about those squirrels. And as I look at the tree behind me and I see the trees around me, I start to think about, and I'm writing in my notebook, are these the kinds of trees where the squirrels will want to live? In the cage, they had the branch, and it makes me wonder, is this the environment that a squirrel lives in? As a scientist, I think I need to sit here and I need to watch the squirrels and see, are these the branches that they jump from branch to branch? I'm gonna draw my tree, and I'm gonna draw it as tall as the apartments I see, because I think that's how tall the tree is. So I want my notebook to have that, so I remember that the tree is as tall as those apartments. I'm also gonna write down that I'm wondering, where is the water for the squirrel? I don't see water near the tree, so is there another way that squirrels get their water? It's a wondering. And I'm wondering about the nuts. I saw nuts in the cage, so now I wonder as I sit here, is this a tree where I could find nuts? Or is there another tree nearby that would provide nuts? Those are my wonderings as I sit here in my sit spot. As you make your wonderings and your observations, I want you to send them to our email address, create@marinschools.org, or remember, you can take a photograph and send it to the Instagram or Twitter account, and you can always drop your observations at the food places where you can get food for lunch. So share your ideas with us in one of those ways, and we'll show it on the show. So remember, your job is to go to your sit spot, record your ideas, and send them. Now I want you to remember, when you go out, you need to explore all that you can explore. I want you to have fun while you're having fun out there observing, and I really want you to be safe. Remember to wear your mask so that you are safe as you're exploring. See you next time.
I wonder, why are the crows so loud? I wonder, does the dog chase squirrels or other animals when he's off his leash? I wonder, what can the bird see from the top of the tree? I wonder, where does the water under the bridge come from? Where is it going? I wonder, what is Alpine thinking about in his sit spot? I wonder, what is the largest animal that lives on Mount Tamalpais? I wonder, can a deer learn that the roadway can be dangerous? I wonder, how many of the acorns that fall from the tree grow into new trees?